I already hate my.
Welcome everybody to episode 23, and it'll be week 4 of the NFL season. Jacob is back on with us. Jacob, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Not too bad. Just got back from the dentist, get a little teeth cleaned. So,
Oh yeah.
how about
Clean those
yourself?
clean those fucking chompers up a little bit.
Yeah, too much coffee in my day. They're just stained.
I'm doing all right. I'm excited to be here once again. So you had a little vacation recently. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I went down to Kentucky and just scouted as much bourbon as I could, and came back from Buffalo Trace with a lot of bourbon. So,
So
thank.
what did your haul consist of?
Oh God. So the first day, uh, I got me and Sam got blends, so got two bottles of that, which was nice. And then second day at Buffalo Trace was Colonel Taylor, and funny story was so they at Buffalo Trace you can only buy the bottle a day once,
Per
and
person.
yeah, one per person, and so you get a wristband when you go there, and so that's in like one building, and then you got to go to a different building for the gift shop. And we get in line or whatever, we get the stuff that we're getting, and we go to check out, and the lady never scans our wristband. And we were walking back to the car, and I was like, I feel like they have no clue if we bought Colonel Taylor that day. So I was like, we're going on a tour, and I was like, let's just go back in and after a tour and see if we can get two more bottles of it. Sure as shit. Went back in line and got two more bottles of Colonel Taylor. So
Somebody's getting fired after they listen to this.
yeah, yeah, probably. Actually, they probably don't care. I don't think they sold out that day of Colonel Taylor, which was kind of surprising
Jeez.
because there
When
was
we
a
went,
ton of it. But
so what did you think of the distillery itself?
oh, it was awesome. But I don't know. I kind of wish I don't know what tour you did when you were there, but we did the Trace tour, and I kind of wish we would have did a different one. But I don't know.
We did the old Taylor tour.
Yeah,
That one was really, really good.
and that's the one I wanted to do, but yeah, I don't know. Their
Okay.
vodka is so good too.
It
I
is, I know.
It was
That's usually
so smooth. So
hmm
got a couple bottles of that.
So did you go anywhere else besides Buffalo Trace?
Yeah, we went to a ton. Like Bullet. I don't know if you did that one. That's kind of just your mainstream. I don't know. It wasn't bad. Pretty cool facility. My honestly, God, my favorite one was Stritzel Weller. I don't know if you did that one. It's in Louisville.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's the one that Pappy started at.
Yep.
And yeah, oh, it was awesome place. Um, and they make Blade and Bow, which we tried it there, and that was the first time that I tried it, and that was smooth as hell. And
Yep.
can't wait to buy some of them. But
Yeah. I have a bottle of that actually.
we did Michter's too, which was downtown Louisville, and that one was awesome. Um, I don't know, we did a ton, but yeah,
It's good.
there's really no bad ones to go to down there.
No, they're all really cool. I really like and it's kind of neat seeing, especially some of those distilleries in Louisville. They're a little bit more modern and they kind of newer buildings and everything. So it's really kind of neat seeing the stuff that they're putting up recently compared to the stuff that was,
Oh
the last 150 years or so or 100 years. But yeah, Buffalo Trace, that was amazing. We didn't get 4 bottles of Taylor. Actually, we we went. It was really funny. A quick story. We were driving through Frankfurt, which is where Buffalo Trace is, and that our first night through, we were walking by, and there was this guy carrying a whole box. He had 4 bottles of EH Taylor on him, and I was like, so I stopped. I pulled over on the side of the road, like, dude. where'd you get all that good stuff? And he goes, oh, Zell, we were at Buffalo Trace today, and he goes, we got our bottles, and there's these two drunk guys that bought the bottles, but they just said, screw it, we're not gonna, we don't didn't want it.
Right.
I actually ended up seeing, or Monica actually ended up seeing that guy the next 2 days. One's out at lunch, and then the next day was at the Jim Beam distillery. So that was kind of funny. And he was from Wisconsin as well, which is even more interesting. But yeah, that's a really coul place. If anybody has a little bit of interest in some bourbon and some history, it's a great tour, and you're not going to get them all in one day, so you can always go back for some more.
No, I agree. That yeah, just some of those buildings are just ancient.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, how are you doing in fantasy so far this season?
I think I'm 2-1 right now. Lost to a juggernaut of roast. I don't really see many people stopping him and Stu, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's funny that we kind of gave those guys a hard time about all these trades that they're making, but holy cow, those guys are they're on a roll. They're both 3-0 this year. And they're both doesn't look like they're gonna be slowing down any barring any serious injury. Um, I
no, and
don't think
I remember looking at like Stu's team last year, and I was like, "There's no way he's going to turn this around for a little bit." And then I looked at it. I think today I looked at his roster. And I was like, "Holy hell! How the hell did you get some of these players?" Like,
yeah, his entire
crazy.
team is different from when we drafted. I don't think he's got one player left on his original team. So, well, hey, good for him for kind of spinning it around last in the offseason. It's up in the air if the Bijan trade was worth it or not for both him and I. We're not sure. We'll see in the long
Who'd you
run.
who'd you give up again for him?
Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, and a first.
Yeah,
So we will see about that. But either way, Josh Jacobs is not performing very well, which I'm sorry, but when running backs kind of hold out for the whole offseason, it usually doesn't bode too well for them.
yeah, and I mean he was well, it was a contract year for him, wasn't it
Yep.
last year or something? So I don't know. The players seem to play a little better when their contracts on the line.
And it didn't
And
really seem to matter though, did it? Because he only got his 1 year deal.
no, not at all. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Christian Watson too. It just hammies and wide receivers just are not a good mix. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm at the point where I'm ready for Jonathan Taylor to get off the pup list, and then we can ship Christian Watson's ass over to Indianapolis, and then we can get Jonathan Taylor and I mean throw in AJ Dillon right away too, and
Oh,
then we could get Jonathan Taylor and maybe like a future fourth or something to make it more even because AJ Dillon's not coming back to Green Bay. I don't after
he's
this year.
he's not coming back unless it's like a veteran minimum.
Yeah.
I like the guy, but man, this year's been rough.
Yep. It
I don't
sure
know.
has. Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we kind of dive into the when we can talk about the Packers. But yeah, it's been a little underwhelming for myself. Kind of did break into the win column finally, and I believe
Well, you just didn't play the right players when you played me.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. So let's see. And we played in week 2. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
I think you
And
started Joey, which was a mistake. I don't know who your other quarterback was that went off.
Um, Jared Goff, actually, it
Yeah,
wasn't too big of a deal, too bad of a loss. Jared Goff had 22 or almost 23, and Burrow had just over 15. So that really wouldn't have mattered. But I think there was something else that really got me. Nope, nope, nope. You're just
I thought
oh,
you had someone
what
else.
got me was the Steelers defense against fucking Cleveland. That's what got me 29 points for them.
Yeah, but I think I still had it fairly wrapped up
It was
by then.
close. Yep. But Devonte Adams, you have on your squad, not looking like he's enjoying his time in a Raiders jersey anymore, is he?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't. Josh McDaniels, like, yikes. I don't know. But the thing about him is though is like you put him anyone back there and he's still gonna get you like around 10 catches. Like it's not like it is his talent's off. I mean, if it was like Rodgers in his prime, like yeah, he's gonna be putting lighting up numbers, but so it's not gonna be as good. But I don't think he's as bad. I think he had 42 last week. I mean, granted, he had 2 touchdowns, but
Yeah. I tell you what, the Raiders, you can put all the blame on the Mike Mayock and John Gruden at the very beginning. And I still think that John Gruden is a good coach, but those two botched those two drafts so poorly after they traded Khalil Mack. They had the 3 first round picks. And it was just, I mean, every single one of their, I mean, how many of their first round picks in recent years has gone to shit, or somebody's been arrested, or they're cut after the first year or two. And those, I mean, obviously everybody misses on first round picks, but when you do it year after year after year, man, you're just never gonna get ahead. And yeah, they got a
uh,
good they had a good pick in Max Crosby in the third or fourth round, but I'm sorry, that's just after a while it's gonna start adding up, and you're kind of seeing where they're at now. They're barely hanging on.
yeah, Max Crosby was fourth round in 19, but you had
Yep.
like Henry Ruggs. We all know how that one turned out. I don't think they have like a single many players from those drafts still on their team.
No,
I
no,
looking at the list and I really don't recognize
no.
many names.
It's rough. It really is. And then it just kind of when you miss like that over and over, I mean, it's only a matter of time until your team really just kind of, because at that point you can't even fix it with free agency, because you're already then in free agency, you're overpaying for players, and then you're
Yeah.
scrambling, and then you're screwed. So yeah, I wish the best for the Raiders. I really do. But the Devonte Adams trade, I think, is looking in the Packers' favor as of right now. And but I think you know, when they say the grass isn't always greener on the other side, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that he'd be pretty content and green and gold right about now.
Well, I mean, he wanted to go there to play with his guy, Derek Carr, and they didn't like Derek Carr being mediocre. So
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yep.
I
Shit
thought Derek
show.
Carr would have been better than Jimmy G, but I don't know. Are they still going to win games? No, but their team's just not that good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally 2 Corvettes and the rest are so.
Yep. So you picked up a little Justice Hill after my guy JK Torres Achilles here. Did okay against
He
in week 2, and
didn't play
then
last week.
he
So yeah,
didn't play.
I don't think he did. Pretty positive he did not. Because I was
No, he
scraping the
did
barrel
not.
on my some of my running backs last week.
Yep, he did not play. So yeah, it's been a kind of a bloodbath so far, I think, in terms of the first few games. Kind of go through some stats here. Dan is 2-1. He does have a loss, but he is the highest scoring team at 485 points. Stu is short right behind him at 478. He's 3-0. Fister Baby is 3-0 as well. And then we have a only one 0-3 team, and that would be Isaac. And talked to him today. I gave him a hard time about that. Kind of did the old 0-3, and he said, I'm just playing really good teams. Well, if we only have 308 points in a matter of 3 weeks, well,
Uh, um,
maybe your team is just kind of it's ready to be done.
Emily's at 275, so
Yeah, that's true.
much better.
But she
So
at least has a win. She snuck one out
uh,
against Kai. That must have been a tough must have been a little it was a tough Sunday in that house.
yeah,
But yeah, like I said, I talked about this last year in terms of like the sleeper app. I still think that this is the best app for in terms of fantasy ever. I mean, this weekly report that they pump out is just so neat. I mean, just the league, your league awards, you have the most efficient, least efficient managers, the highest point in loss, lowest points in win. I won that award this week with 130 points, but we got the win. And then biggest blowout, most narrow victory, which is actually you. And then overachiever and underachiever. So it's
yeah,
kind of
no,
fun looking at that stuff.
I like it. I mean, I like it better than ESPN app now, so it's nice. I mean, you can see. I really like the snap count and that such. Just seeing players that are just getting
Yeah.
time because I was looking at our league here, and one name that I saw that I laugh about is Big Bob Tunyon, who he's a free agent now, but and I was looking at his snap count. It's 5%, 34%, and 16%. So not good for the organization that he just raved about in the off season. So
That whole organization is an absolute shit show, a dumpster
yeah,
fire. It is the worst thing that I mean. Like I'm not just saying this because we're Packers fans and we're in the middle of Wisconsin, but I that team they can't. I just don't know if they can fuck it up any more than they already have in the last couple of years.
do you think I heard a rumor like Justin Fields is tanking so he can get traded? Do you believe it or no?
I don't know if I believe that. That's I don't know, all these conspiracies that kind of start coming out once kind of things get rolling here, but I don't see him doing that. I think he has a really, really poor offensive line. Chicago historically needs a good defense and a good running game because of the conditions and being in Chicago and in the colder months. And they have neither of those. They do not have, I mean, they spent a lot of money. I mean, I think those Bears fans had a lot of hope bringing in Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. And then I think Sanborn, who is a Badger, they probably overpaid on those linebackers,
Those guys
but
aren't like top tier
no,
linebackers though,
no,
so
no, they're
uh,
not. But
they're
when you
good.
spend, yeah, but when you spend a big money on guys, you kind of think that hey, we're gonna start fixing some things. But they just, I think that they started focusing on offensive weapons to surround Justin Fields, which I think is very, very important. But the Bears have won in the past, and it's usually because of the defense. And I
And
just don't.
getting Chase Claypool was not the answer for an offensive
Oh
weapon.
boy,
DJ Moore
yeah,
was, but they don't
yeah.
throw to him. But
What a shit show trade that was too.
he can't. You talk about wide receivers not happy. He can't be too happy right now.
Well, he's not even trying, so I don't know what you want. I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, yeah, I think we touched on that last week or the week before, but to trade away Roquan Smith, one of the best inside linebackers in the game, for a second round pick, and then just to spin that around immediately to go and get Chase Claypool, yeah, I think that's a big old L right here, baby, right there for all you Chicago Bears fans. The shit show with your defensive coordinator. Um, that's awful. And then the fact that somebody broke into the stadium and stole $100,000 worth of equipment out of Soldier Field last week.
I did not hear about that.
Yep, yep. They did touch on that in the broadcast briefly when they were getting just ass pounded by the Chiefs this last weekend. Because it's not really when it's that bad, when it's 41-0, you need to break out some other material other than what's going on in the game because nobody is entertained anymore.
Or who's
But
sitting in the box because no one cares.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. That has been a story this week. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, good for Travis Kelce. I love what the Bill Belichick said,
yeah,
where it
yeah.
was, Travis Kelce's caught a lot of balls, but he's never, or something, caught a lot of passes or something, but he's never caught one this big or something. So,
I enjoyed Jason Kelsey's comment.
what did he have to
Um,
say?
it was, I'm glad Taylor Swift finally put you on the map. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, good for him, and yeah, the Chiefs are rolling a little bit. Kind of picked up a little bit towards again on Jacksonville. First half was a little slow. Obviously, the Detroit game not so good, but maybe they can kind of get back on track after playing a bad Bears team. But
You
we shall
think?
see.
I mean, it was almost a little scary for him when Patrick Mahomes went down with that. I don't know if it was an ankle injury or something.
Yep,
I was
somebody
like, I
rolled up on his ankle.
I was just shocked he went back in the next series. Like, why? You guys are up like 40 here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not even halftime yet. Like, sit him. There's no
Yeah.
need for this.
Yep.
I
No,
don't know.
he had to go down the field and give Travis Kelce a touchdown reception with his new lady up in the box.
Yeah,
But well, hey, what about the Vikings?
I
0-3, baby.
good, good. I wish everyone in the NFC North was 0-3.
They
Um, I honest, who did they play? I can't even remember.
played the Chargers.
Oh yeah, fucking Brandon Staley, that idiot. He,
Yeah,
uh, God, I know
going
Dan
for
always talks about it.
two, going for
Fourth
two
and
with they like,
inches
oh, I'm
on
not sorry, not going. Yeah, it was 4th and inches
fourth
at
and
their own
inches on
like
their
25.
24 or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
why with like a minute something left? Like, make them drive the field. Like,
Yep.
I and I think honestly, if they scored a touchdown there, I think he would have been fired. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
Of all the coaches in the league, who do you think's on the hottest seat right now? Do you think it's him?
Um, yeah, I'm probably because I don't think Eberflus is Arizona guy. He's looking pretty
No.
good. I mean, he had a pretty good win there. Um, who is Kevin O'Connell? Or yeah, is he at Vikings?
Yeah, he's not going to get fired.
Yeah. So
Not
and
after going
then
13-4 in his first year. But
I think
I
Panthers
would
have
say
I think the Panthers have a rookie coach too.
not rookie Frank Reich. He was the Colts head coach for a while, but they brought him in
Yeah.
specifically to develop Rice Young. But I would say that if there's a coach that was to get fired tomorrow or after this weekend, it would probably be Brandon Staley. That guy just makes the most boneheaded decisions, and it doesn't seem that he's learning from them either. It's just it's just every time
And
it's
he was
awful.
so conservative like the first two games, and then it was just a complete 180. And then all of a sudden, this last game, he's just like, ah, fuck it, we're gonna not do a QB sneak on fourth and inches here.
Yep. And I understand that, statistically, if a team goes 0-3, they only have a 2 or 3% chance of making the playoffs. Um, and granted that the majority of that timeline where for that stat is taking place is 16 game season. Now we have an additional game. Could that change things? Maybe a little bit. But I think both of those coaches knew that they could not go down to 0-3, and I understand trying to you're doing things that maybe is a little unorthodox to get a win, but yeah, that it was a really really poor decision. I think next after Brandon Staley, though, I would have to say it's Matty Eberflus in Chicago. They need a fresh start over there.
I mean, they just got a fresh start this past year. I don't know.
Yeah, we thought so, right? You think
Uh,
so, but I mean, what do they have right now between the 17 and 3 games? They're what, 3-17 now?
yeah, they started out hot, and then they haven't won a game in almost a full calendar year. I think I saw.
Yep. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. But
So you don't think who do you think's? I feel like I know you're gonna what your answer is gonna be. Who do you think's gonna be gone first, Russell Wilson or Sean Payne?
ooh, that's a really tough call too. That's a great question. I would like I think it's going to be Russell Wilson
I
first.
agree. I I I don't think you can part ways with Sean after the first year because that's clearly not going well, and I don't know.
And the Russell Wilson experiment, clearly, I mean, you can say what you will about having a 1 year head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, there last year. Russell Wilson was bad, bad last year,
Yeah.
and
He's not
and
doing bad in fantasy football wise this year. He's
no,
it's not bad, but it's not like stellar numbers.
yes,
But
he does look better this year. But if you had to give one the axe, had to, I would say it would probably be Russell Wilson. And I don't know how soon they can kind of part ways with him. in terms of like how the cap, dead cap space and stuff. I'm not sure if it's after year 3 or 4 when they can kind of get a little bit of relief out of that, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
that one, it doesn't make me too upset seeing Russell Wilson struggle. I think I would have liked it a little more if he was still in Seattle, just
Oh, for
for
sure. For sure.
Denver to kind of give up a bunch to acquire him, and then just um then everything kind of, all the wheels are just kind of falling off. I do feel for Denver, but the Seahawks, who have taken so much from us and us Packers fans in the last 11 years, I would have enjoyed watching them struggle a little bit. But
I had to send my old roommate a video I saw, a little heartbreak. Like it was 11 years ago, I think, like a couple days ago was the old Fail Mary.
uh,
I was like, you remember watching this in the dorm room, just fucking yelling at the TV then? Because that was a
yep,
joy.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Fucking Seahawks, man. Those few years, 4 or 5 years that they were dominant, it was tough because you knew we'd kick their ass in the regular season whenever we played them, but roll into the playoffs, it didn't matter. We got lost every single time. Tough.
And they were always the ones that it was like a special teams trick play where you're like, all right, we know something's gonna happen, and sure as shit, they would always just bite on it and get
Yep.
screwed.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
So, well, hey, I mean, we haven't had any, besides just gonna wrap up a little bit of fancy stuff. I mean, I guess we haven't had any trades, a lot of claims, but I don't know. Maybe let me look, trying scrolling back here. Last time we had a trade, I think it was before the regular season started. So it's 14 days ago. Oh yeah, it was the Tua, Dan acquired Tua from M. But so 2 weeks ago to the day was our last trade. So I think something's gonna, I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling like things are
I
just kind of, they're quiet right now. I'm not sure. I don't see much going on.
I feel like the trade master likes his team, and he's not gonna trade anyone there, Stu.
Yeah,
So
he's not gonna fuck up a good thing.
yeah, yeah, he's got the
Uh,
team he finally wants.
yeah, right. So, all right. Well, hey, let's dive into our favorite boy. So, and that is, we're gonna see what Obi has to say. So give me a second here.
Make sure you turn off your headphones there.
Yep, I gotcha. So actually, sorry, there we go. Obi, there is Obes on his third birthday, and believe it or not, that is he is 3-0 in his record. He's doing a good job this year.
He's being a good boy.
He is being a good boy. So um, let's see what Obi has to say about tomorrow night's game.
I would like to welcome everybody to week 4 of Obi's Picks. Obes, you are 3-0 this year, buddy. See what you can do this week. So this week we have our very own Green Bay Packers taking on a divisional rival in the Detroit Lions. Both are 2-1 this year and leading the division. It should be a great Thursday night matchup. Let's see if Obi picks in our favor this week. Come on, buddy. He's going
Look at
with the
that.
Green Bay Packers, everybody. Let's do it.
I
Come
don't
on.
know. I
Look
don't
at
know
that. He
about that one.
couldn't. He had a little bit of a hesitation there right before
Uh,
he picked them.
I think this one's gonna be a tough one to pick. I don't know. I feel like it could go either way right now, but
So yeah, well, who do you got on so what makes you say, who do you think's going to win this one? Do you think they're going to pull it out?
maybe. I mean, I think they can. It just depends on what team shows up. Is it gonna be fourth quarter Falcons or first quarter um whatchamacallits that just played? Saints.
Saints? Yeah,
Um there's going to be fourth quarter Saints. Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I think the Lions are a good team. I mean, it's going to be not easy. This will probably be the toughest match so far. But
So on the spread, it's only a half on our pick'em.
yeah,
Excuse me, a pick'em league is only a half-point spread, so you're essentially picking the winner there.
yeah,
Which probably would, they give you 3 points at home. So in a neutral ground, they're giving the Lions a 3 points here. But yeah, I think I tell you what, if we come out with a bunch of penalties like we did, like you said, in the first quarter, first 2 quarters, the offensive line making a bunch of boneheaded mistakes, it's going to be tough because I think if Aiden Hutchinson is able to pin his ears back and just, I mean, I think personally think Aiden Hutchinson's gonna just destroy us on tomorrow night. And then that's if we can survive the onslaught of him every single time, because now they did rule out Elkin Jenkins and David
right.
Bakhtiari today. So
I think they ruled out
um
a couple more people. Devondre Campbell's out, and
Campbell and one other one I can't remember. It
uh,
might be a defensive player, but so I think we've seen Aiden Hutchinson this year doing a fantastic job. Um, I think he's gonna have his way with this offensive line. So Matt LaFleur is gonna have to find ways to get the ball out fast. Um,
it wasn't Zach
oh,
Tom that was ruled out, was it?
I'm not sure.
I don't.
Not
I can't.
sure.
I don't. I didn't see the severity of his injury yesterday, but I don't
Zach
know.
Tom got hurt yesterday
Well,
at
during the
practice,
game,
or okay, mine last
I don't know
weekend.
if he's
All right.
still hurt or not, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to
I
be
think
tough.
like I'll be happy if they win. Like I'm not really going to expect them to win, but
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. And, I always kind of pulled for the Detroit Lions for the longest time because they were just the bottom of the barrel, just a dog shit team, kind of like how we're talking about the Bears and teams like the Bears and the Raiders. But it's kind of fun watching their rise now in the NFL. But it's also sucks because they are in our division and now we're gonna have another tough test. But yeah, Jared Goff looks good. And they're not even that wide receiver room isn't even full yet because they don't even have Jameson Williams back.
yeah. But Sam Laporta has been just stepping up here.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
he looks really, really good, doesn't he?
Oh, for sure. And then I
Yep.
mean the Sun God, obviously, he just I don't know runs
Yeah,
through
isn't
all every single game.
Yeah, isn't that nice? They dump one Iowa tight end, um, and then they draft another, and he looks just as good, if not better. Um, I mean, it's early, and TJ Hawkinson is one hell of a tight end, but yeah, it seems like they hit on that one, and we'll see how they hit on these other first round picks. I th-
Oh,
what's that?
I was curious as how much Jameer Gibbs has been playing. 60% of the snaps last week,
Okay,
17 rushing attempts for 80 yards. So that's
not bad.
yeah, not bad at all. Um,
Nope, a little over 4 yards a carry.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure David Montgomery is still questionable. So
He's
I don't know.
questionable. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm scared of, I mean, Gibbs is obviously he's a little early in his rookie season, but I think after maybe towards the end of this year into next year, some things are gonna click and he is gonna be
Oh, once they get a couple more
oh
weapons back, I think Jameson Williams.
spread
Um,
things out a little bit more. And when they get him back, I mean, that's going to benefit everybody, not just, I mean, you're going to open up things for Amon Ra and Gibbs and open up the run game and Laporta if, you got that deep threat. So, and Jared Goff looks like he looks as good as he's ever been.
yeah,
So,
he'll be. I mean, he'll be the first one to go eventually because he's not gonna keep playing and as good as he is. Obviously, he's got a couple more years, I would say, till he's gonna be done. But I don't know.
well, he's not that old. I actually started him last week. Jared Goff's only 28 years old.
Oh, really?
He's got a lot of football left
Never
in him.
mind. I lied. I lied. I thought he was like at least 30.
No, I bet you he's got 5 more good years in him. But yeah, it's a good up and coming team, and I remember talking a lot about them last year, kind of being a fan of watching them kind of grow up under MCDC and then being on Hard Knocks last year, but now they are a legitimate problem for our Green Bay Packers, and it's tough. And then another thing I really wanted to talk about is holy shit. You see this guy back here? He's wearing
Yeah.
number 52 jersey. Well, the
Oh,
guy that picked up that 52 jersey right after he was shipped out of town, Rashawn Gary, is a fucking monster. This
yeah,
guy is on limited snaps and he's coming out. I mean, I think he's got 5 sacks already, with including 3 of them this last Sunday against the Saints.
yeah, he for sure had 3. I don't know about the other ones, but I yeah, he's just a freak, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to pay him, but which I think will happen during the year, so we can free up some cap space. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a guy. I feel like that's just a guy you have to pay. You have to. I mean, you can't let him go. He is peaking. I mean, yes, and yeah, is it bad timing for the pocketbook? 100%. But he's peaking, and you can't let that go out the door. Not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I feel like for the Packers, they're gonna be right back in that pocket hole hell if Jay Love is any good. I mean, and they try unless he takes a hometown or a deal for a couple of years and then they pay him. But I feel like they're just gonna be right back in that nightmare of a situation. Cap.
So you believe Jordan Love is the answer, huh?
I know you're the number one Jay Love hater in the world. Do I think he's the real deal? I mean, he makes some throws. I don't, is he going to be as good? I mean, well, I think he can be top 5 QB. I don't think he'll ever be top 1 or 2 in the league. I don't think he's obviously that good, but you watch him, he still makes some throws that are, I mean, Roger-esque. There's still sometimes where he makes those decisions of, yeah, he's gotten a little lucky. I mean, I don't really. His interception last week was basically a punt because it was 3rd and 10 anyways, so it really didn't affect him too much. I don't know. I like what I see. I mean, Devondre Campbell said last year that he was better than half the quarterbacks in the league, and I would argue he's in that 15 to 10 range of quarterbacks now. I mean, even closer maybe to 10 for right now, but I don't know.
He does some good things, I will admit. The sidearm throws to kind of get around the arms of the defensive lineman. He's got a quick release, a real quick release. He's athletic. He can really whip the ball in there. But I guess if you want to say numbers, you want to say the numbers don't lie, and I'm not. I mean, yeah, he has what, 7 touchdowns to 1 interception so far through 3 games this year. But that glaring number is like this 50% completion
Yeah.
percentage.
I
That's
think that
not
was
good.
the majority of this past game because they were not doing too good in the first 3 quarters.
I
I don't know what his fourth quarter numbers were, but I don't know.
but even still, the some of the inaccuracy makes me nervous because there's a lot of throws that are wide open guys that are kind of high wide,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
that
Like I
makes me
said,
nervous.
he
He
definitely misses throws, but I think I would say there was probably at least 5 drop passes last week that should have
Yeah.
easily been caught. There's been just a stupid amount of drop passes this year.
Yep,
So
there's things that need to be cleaned up by the receivers for sure. They're young. We've talked about that, and there's going to be some growing pains. But I like to and let's if Jordan Love can kind of get a little bit better in terms of accuracy over this year and the next off season. Yeah, I think there's some a legitimate chance he could be up there in the top of the league in terms of quarterback play.
and like right now, if he continues, like obviously he's not going to finish the season with under 5 interceptions or whatever, but I think you still got to extend him again or give him another contract. I don't see how you can let him walk unless you get the first round draft pick, which that's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'd say, you know, I'd be okay with, just seeing what happens this year with wherever we end up. We just ship J Love out to whoever has the first overall pick, and we can take Caleb Williams and we can start all over and everything. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I am leaving it. Hey, I am open to just into watching this whole thing play out because we
Like I
don't.
said, the number one hater right here.
Yeah, and it all started back in 2020 when he was selected at the end of the first round. And
That was not his fault though. Like
it's not. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong at all. It's not his fault.
I
Packers are.
don't think he would have been I don't think he'd be a good quarterback if he played right away in 2020 or 21. Like
Oh,
he definitely
100%.
needs to, I don't know.
I agree
But
100%. He needed the time and he got it. And this was the best organization he could have possibly went to. Because not maybe not organization. I should say the best circumstance that he went into, knowing
yeah,
that he didn't need to be the guy right away. You have the exact same coaching staff, the same playbook. You got to sit behind a first ballot Hall of Famer, kind of see what he did and pick and learn all of the great things that he did, and then maybe kind of put your own little spin on it. So, in terms of ideal situations, I think there wasn't a better one for him in the league at that time. Being able to sit back and learn and grow. Um, Now it's just time to shine. So, hey, like I said in the past, I will happily eat my words if he turns out to be an MVP and a Pro Bowler and a Hall of Famer someday,
no,
gladly.
everyone makes the Pro Bowl. I think Tyler Huntley made it last year. So
Yeah,
really, it's not that
that's
impressive.
very true. And it's very, very true. So yeah, I mean we kind of touched on the whole NFC North here tonight. So all right, well, Jake, let's see. I'm gonna do let's talk about some predictions here. So
While you're pulling that up too, I would also like to say that I saw a stat that last week the Packers had 53% of their cap not playing last week.
really.
Yeah, that was including dead cap too, but because
Hmm.
obviously you have like Bakhtiari on there, you have Elkin Jenkins. They also included like Devondre Campbell, who played like a couple series or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, 53%, just stupid.
That's not good. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there we go. Jacob, why don't you run through your player of the week?
I mean, I was just gonna let you pick the easy one, but I went with Keenan Allen. He is now the only player in NFL history to have 3 games of 18 receptions or more, well, 18 or more, which I kind of thought was a little crazy with Jerry Rice not having that.
Yeah, that's the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah, so when I heard that stat, I was like, that's kind of nuts. But I mean, I guess there's really no quarterback or wide receivers that he's had to deal with, and he always just seems to find the ball in San Diego. So,
He does. Could you
and
imagine if this guy can put a whole season together without getting hurt? Holy
well,
cow.
he's old now, but um, and he had that one. I think it was to Mike Williams, the pass that he had
It
too.
was
Yeah. So,
before before he shredded his knee.
yeah, just like everyone else. But
Hmm. Does it
yeah,
seem does it seem like this year has been just an awful year for injuries? I mean, is it just or are we just kind of just were we numb to it in the past, or does it just seems like there's just more significant injuries in the first few weeks of the NFL season than I ever remember before.
I feel like it's just like high profile
Names.
names. Yeah, like Nick Chubb and Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, I feel like, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're hearing more about them, but I don't know. I'm sure they're probably the same amount of injuries each year, but who knows?
Hmm. So, well, yeah, you kind of said you gave me the easy one. I'm sure I should have put the points on here. So Keenan Allen had, I believe you said 42 points. Let's double check here.
I don't know how many he had.
I will tell you. 45.46 points this last week as a wide receiver. Yikes. That's tough. That's tough to stop. And of course he's on
He
Stu's
did
team
that
and
with no receiving touchdowns too.
yes.
Just throwing, which is crazy, but
You figure there's 18 points just on the receptions,
yeah.
so you're already looking at just under 40 points, and then you throw in a 49-yard touchdown pass. Yikes. So I went with maybe a little bit more of an obvious one, but in a maybe have a breakout party for this guy. Devin Achane. Holy cow. And I think we should talk a little bit about that Dolphins game. But Devin Achane had 51.3 points this week in PPR. So 18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, another 4 catches for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this guy is fast. Wow, is he fast? I mean, that entire Miami Dolphins team is fast, but these guys hung up 70 points on the Denver Broncos, and they didn't even have Jalen Waddle out on the field.
I know, and just crazy. I feel like someone had or Mike Daniels or whatever, he had a little revenge that he wasn't selected to be or even a thought to be the Denver coach. He was like, all right, fuck you guys. I'm gonna hang a 70 burger on you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what Raheem Mostert had too, because he had
Oh,
a dumb amount of points too.
he was just short of 50. I think he was like 48 or 49. So that's 2 running backs that both had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I yeah, Tariq Hill had 9 catches for 157 and a touchdown. Like,
Yep,
yeah,
that's 30.
he was caught 7 passes, 60 yards and a touchdown, and 13 carries, 82 yards and 3 touchdowns, 45 points. Like, that whole offense is gonna be interesting to see. I mean,
Do
you gotta
you
almost think that it's the Dolphins, Eagles are favored to be in the Super Bowl right now, and that'd be a interesting little matchup in my opinion. But
think the Dolphins are legit though? Like, do you think they're
um,
like a legitimate Super Bowl contender?
I think if they stay healthy, especially Tua, I mean, that's their biggest issue right now. And I don't know if their defense is good, but when their offense is putting up stupid amount of points, does
It
their
won't
defense
matter.
need to be that good? I mean,
No.
I don't know. So it'll be interesting. This week they play the Bills, I
Yes.
believe. So
Yep.
I think that'll be a good one.
It
Um,
will.
but yeah, if you're getting in a track meet with them, you're going to be screwed. So I don't
And
know.
and the thing that still blows my mind is you have all the speed around Tua. And it's an amazing game plan. And it is so far it has been very, very successful when Tua is on the field. And clearly that offense goes and goes with Tua.
Yeah.
But it still blows my mind that guy, if there's a wide open Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle more than 30 yards down the field, he can't fucking get it there. And I mean, could you imagine if he had an arm though, and he could lead those guys? I mean,
Oh yeah.
I understand that it cannot be an easy task to lead those guys on a fly down the field, being as fast as they are. But
Hmm.
oh my God, it's almost like, oh, stop! It's just like, oh, it's just almost cringy just watching these receivers get so open and then have to sit there and wait for the ball, and then they get tackled, or maybe you can get the PI and everything, but oh, just it's tough to watch. I feel bad for those receivers. They'd be walking in a lot of touchdowns,
Yeah.
more touchdowns if their quarterback had a little bit of a stronger arm.
Which is just crazy to think about. Like, I don't know.
Hey, I mean, and he's accurate, and he's and they changed a little bit of his throwing motion to kind of where his feet are. which took a little bit out of his throws, but he's accurate and everything. But man, he could put an extra 10, 15 yards on his throws. This offense could be stupid. And I believe that the record for points in an NFL game was 71 or 72. So the
Yeah,
Dolphins
I
had
know.
the
I think if they scored another whatever touchdown or
field
field
goal.
goal, they were going to break it. So
And they had the ball and they were with 7.5 minutes to go in the game, and they kind of just yeah, or enough is enough. But I don't blame the fan base for being pissed off for not going over and breaking the record.
I think because they were playing at Denver, right? Yeah, they were playing at Denver, or no?
No, no, they were at
Oh,
home.
okay, never mind.
Were
Because
they? No, I have to look. I'm sorry.
they were whatever fan base it was chanting for them to go for it, and I thought that's why they were at Denver, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yep, you're right. My mistake.
Granted, I can't imagine too many Denver Bronco fans still in the stadium in that fourth quarter.
Oh no, no, they were home.
Okay, never mind.
They were home. But yeah, isn't that nuts? Yeah,
I
they
mean,
could have.
you have to.
And then
I,
not only would they have had the most points in NFL history, I mean, and that one probably would have held for a while. I'm not saying it would have held forever, but it would have held for a while. But then they also would have been the only undefeated team ever in NFL history as well. So they could have held those two over
yeah.
some heads for a while at least. So
And I laughed about it because I saw a report, I don't know if it was true or not, on Monday saying that NFL owners were upset with the Dolphins for running up the score, but like
oh fuck
stop them,
them.
like stop them. Like this is the NFL. Like you're not trying to go out there and win by 1 point. Like
No, and not to mention every time they handed the ball off to one of these running backs, it's not like they're hucking it down the field trying to run it up. Like they're apparently Denver's defense just didn't know how to tackle running
yeah,
backs that day because those guys were breaking 65-yard rushing touchdowns. So you can't, fuck those owners, man. I mean, they not only did they charge us for $14 a beer when you're sitting in their stands, now they're complaining because the other team ran it up on them. Fuck you. That's what I have to say
yeah,
about that.
I agree. Like that's insane. Like, this is the NFL. Like they're getting paid a lot of money. Go freaking tackle someone. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right. Well, Jake, let's hear who you have this week for a player to watch. We got
Not player. Oh, player to watch. I'm going with the old Trevor Lawrence. I think.
little
Um,
sunshine.
yeah, they had so much hype going into this year, and they've just looked awful the last 2 weeks. Um, I can't think of who they play this week, but I think it should be a get right game. Um,
Let me look for you. I should know this. I was just looking at all the spreads just recently.
it was Atlanta, yeah.
Okay.
So, and I mean, obviously Atlanta's front seven looks pretty good, or decent. Their cornerbacks were a little questionable. I mean, we kind of picked them apart in the first 3 quarters there. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Just see if it's a get right game and if the Jaguars are actually for real or not for real here because they don't look good right now. And I think they were the favorites to win that division starting out the year.
Yeah, and then to get just curb stomped by the Texans this last weekend, not good. No one would have seen that one coming from it would have that's rough. And I feel like when it comes to the Jaguars, they either play down or up to their competition. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they had a couple games last year where they really they blew the doors off and lit somebody up, but when it comes to like and yes, I know that like in the Chiefs last week, and we're early in the regular season, but when they start playing these good teams, I mean, look what they did in the playoffs last year. They beat a good Chargers team in the divisional, and they gave the Chiefs a run for their money I'm sorry, that was a wild card. And then they gave the Chiefs a good run for their money in the divisional round last year in the playoffs. And I believe it went down to it was only a one score game. So I think they just need to find some consistency. And yes, they have a young quarterback, and I love Trevor Lawrence. I think a little bit more help on that defense, and I mean he's got a ton of weapons, a ton of guys to throw the football to. So I like what they're doing in Jacksonville for sure. Doug Peterson's a great coach, but yeah, that's a really interesting team. Not really, you just never really know what you're going to get, and then like I said, just to go and get just destroyed by the Houston Texans this last weekend. That was an odd one.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I have a guy that finally had a big game this last week, and that's in Jamar Chase. Um, I it's tough to watch the Bengals right now these first 3 weeks, and I know having Joe Burrow kind of beat up, that did not help things. But this last on Monday night against the Rams, Jamar Chase had 15 targets, which is almost half out of what he had on the season. 12 catches, which is more than half, and then 141 yards, which is significantly more than half of his season total. So I think I'm not sure if you heard on the broadcast, but Jamar Chase they sat down and had a conversation. Him and Joe Burrow had a conversation after week 2. They got beat, and about what they could do to get back on track. And I think they had a little heart to heart. And Joe Burrow, yes, is a little beat up. He's not playing like we're used to, but I think he kind of clicked that, hey, I need to get this guy get the football. And
I think it's gonna. I think it'll change once he gets healthy. Because I honestly thought about putting him as my player to watch, Joey, but then I was like, he's still a little hurt, so I don't know. I give it a couple more weeks and let the calf heal, I think it is, or something,
yep,
or
yep, his calf.
heal, and he'll be able to scramble a little more too. Because I know when I was watching it, he was kind of just sitting in the pocket, wasn't really moving much. I don't know. He
He
was
threw
missing.
the ball. He threw the ball 49 times on Monday night, which is crazy for a guy with a bum calf. And they only ran the ball shit. It only seemed like 15 times, 15, 16 times. So, um, yeah, it was an interesting approach to that game, but that was a kind of a grinded out game. It wasn't really pretty. But I think, well, when you have 49 attempts, I think there should be at least 15 of them that should go to Jamar Chase for being as good as he is. So if not 20.
For sure, and no less than 10. I mean,
Oh,
you should almost be looking at half, in my opinion. But I
yeah.
don't know. Just he's just a playmaker, and I don't know.
Yeah.
He was wide open too on some of them, and he was just missing them. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah. Did you watch these games last Monday night?
I only watched a little bit of them.
Okay.
I didn't watch much of the Eagles game because that one was just over, and
Yeah.
everyone was upset about the QB sneak and how it's
The tush
unstoppable.
push.
The tush push. But so
Did
I
you
watched.
see did you see that abomination of what they tried to do to the tush push in the fourth quarter? The Eagles.
No, I didn't see that.
So I understand that you want to take a little time, want to have a little twist on that because teams know what's coming and everything, but they try to doing a fake tush push when they are up by like 3 scores in the late third quarter, or in the fourth quarter, and I would agreed 100%. I was thinking it, and I know we could all just say this, but I swear I was thinking it before the broadcaster said it. I'm like, why would you do that now? And then sure enough, he's like, yeah, do you think you want to keep that one in your back pocket for a little while? Because if you're beating a team up that bad, what's the point? Just save that one but save that for a more important situation. But
I just think it's
anyways,
unstoppable, so they don't
yeah,
even need to worry about saving it. I don't know. Get
yeah,
that film out there that
but
they're
the
capable of doing it. So
but the fake tush push didn't work out very good. It was kind of just went kind of did a fake in, and then kind of was going to roll out and had a blocker in front of him, tripped over his guy's feet, and down he went for a few-yard loss. So it didn't work out too good.
I
But
don't know. I mean, looks like teams don't really have an answer to stop it. So I don't
That's
know.
true. And you got those big tree trunks of legs like Jalen Hurts has, then that's a pretty good guy to have back there. Just clearly the it's not going to work down in Carolina though for a while. You know, they when they pulled Bryce Young out of the game for that quarterback sneak a couple weeks ago. A little worried
Oh,
about, yeah, they're
yeah.
worried about him getting hurt, but
Oh, he's not a really big guy, so I
no.
do not blame him one bit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right, let's see here who we got for a lock this week.
Going with the Chargers. They are playing. Ooh,
Oh boy.
oh my God. Please hold.
What can we not find this? Feel like a dink.
The Raiders.
Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yes, it is a division game against the Raiders.
Yeah, I hopefully something they figured something out. I mean, now they're 1-2 and get back in a little bit of a rhythm and not be in a funk like they were. Obviously they lost Mike Williams, but I think Joshua Palmer they'll do fine and um, fit in there. And I think Austin Eckler is gonna be back. I know he's been. I think
He's
he was
practicing today, so
saw that, so I think that'll help. Um, but yeah, more importantly, they got to win. So they figured out how to win. So let's get that 5.5.
yeah, and they're at home, so that should be a boost too.
And the Raiders, who knows who their quarterback's going to be? I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, he's in Jimmy Garoppolo is in concussion protocol if I'm not mistaken. So that yeah, that is a good point. If Jimmy G does not play, I don't even know who their backup is, but as of right now, everybody on
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer. Oh yeah, that makes sense. As of right now, the with the spread being at 5.5, we have 75% of people are picking the Chargers to cover the spread. This is just a lock to win. So thinking I agree with you there. And I'm gonna go with another one that's it's got a pretty good matchup to win is the San Francisco 49ers against the Arizona Cardinals. So big number, big spread there. And you know that 14, that 13 and a half being that kind of that hook on 14 points, that's always a little tough. Um, but even though the Cardinals kind of put an end of all the Cowboy fans' dreams this year, or that would have been last week, which was really kind of funny to see. Um, I don't see the Cardinals having a chance in hell beating the 49ers. If you want my opinion, as of right now, it's the 49ers and the Dolphins are the two best teams in the NFL right now. And that's not just because they're both 3-0, but the Chiefs are kind of slow out of the gate. And the San Francisco, like I said, if they can stay healthy, they are going to be a force here for this year.
You think they got 14 points on them though? I mean, that Arizona defense is pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah,
They've
I'm not sure. That's a
been
tough
hanging
spread.
in.
That's a tough spread to play. It is, and those big numbers they're kind of a shit show. You're not really sure what it's. You just don't know what you're going to get, and it being a division game too.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's tough.
home for San Francisco or no?
Yes, they are home. Yep, and as of right now, America says 63% of are in favor of the Niners covering that 13 and a half point spread. So
It'll
we
be
shall see.
interesting with an actual, because I think the Cardinals have a decent defense. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if what Brock Purdy does, unless he's just going to throw just little dump downs to their 19 weapons that they have on their team. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hey, I mean it works. It's
it
efficient.
does. There's no need to throw it downfield.
And don't forget when you don't want to dunk it, you can just hand the ball off to CMC and he'll do a lot there for you too.
Yeah, like you said, I think their biggest issue is going to be if they stay healthy or not throughout the year. But yeah,
All right. let's see some an upset. So somebody that is not a favorite to win the game. Let's see who you got here. You're
I
gonna
sent this to you, and later in the day, I was thinking about it. I was like, I hate this pick.
Oh well, it's done.
Yeah, so I picked the Panthers. Well,
They're playing the
I think
Vikings.
I think if Andy Dalton plays, I think they'll have a better chance than Bryce Young. He didn't
It
look
was. I just got a notification today. Bryce Young is active for this
Yeah,
weekend.
so yeah, I saw that too, and then I was like, yeah, I really don't like my pick. Um, I don't know. I didn't think they played bad against Seattle last week, and they're playing in Seattle, and they still put up pretty good numbers against a decent Seattle team. But that's why if it was Andy Dalton, I'd be a little more confident. But Bryce Young, I hate the pick. I don't know.
Yeah. They are at home, so they can have that against the Vikings. But you got two 0-3 teams here. So that'll be that'll be a really exciting and fun game to watch. So somebody's gonna go to 0-4 after that matchup. But I
Well,
I don't know,
I mean, the
that's a tough
Vikings don't
one.
look that good. I don't
What's
know. The
that?
Vikings don't look really that good, and their
No,
defense
and
is good.
no, but and still at the um end of the day, the Panthers defense is a lot better than people think too. They get Brian Burns is a freak. They're able to get a lot of pressure to the quarterback, and usually that's where Kirk Cousins really kind of. I mean, don't give me. I mean, granted, every quarterback struggles with pressure, but Kirk Cousins seems to struggle a little bit more than most with pressure. So I don't hate this pick. Um, it's going to be tough for the Panthers offense because they need a lot of help. They need some more weapons there for Bryce Young
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah.
So
Jonathan Mingo doesn't look terrible.
no, but they're bringing him on a little slowly.
Yeah,
Um, so they kind of DJ Chark and Adam Thielen right now are kind of running the show, and right now Adam Thielen's the only one that can seems to get open. So you need a little bit more help there.
surprising because he's
Yeah,
old as hell, but and he just got to stay healthy, and he'll be okay. I mean, he's not going to be a number one wide receiver anymore for a team, but a
right.
good number two.
Yep. So I went with the team that like I said, I think is the best team in the AFC right now, and that is the Miami Dolphins. And believe it or not, they are 2.5 point dogs against the Buffalo Bills. Um,
I mean, they
uh,
are playing at Buffalo too, so that
they are playing at Buffalo. Um, still, and I'm really looking forward to this game. This is going to be a really good game at noon on Sunday. Um, I think this one's going to be must see TV between this. This could get pretty high scoring, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And we have America is 62% in favor of the Dolphins covering that 2.5 point spread.
yeah, like you said, I think it'll be one of the best games this year so far. Um, I don't know, and it makes it easy that the Packers aren't playing, so you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that should be a good one. So we have I'm going to kind of run through some of these matchups here. We have another game of between two 0-3 teams, and that's going to be between Denver and Chicago. Chicago is they're 3.5 point dogs at home. Ravens Browns. If you had to take a guess who's favored in that game,
I should know this because I just filled out my pick'em today.
oh, did
It's
you?
gotta be the Browns. Is it
Yep, two
at?
and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 point favorites. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of good matchups. This Rams Colts matchup would be good. Um, a tough number here in terms of picking the spread is going to be this Commanders Eagles game. They're 8.5 point dogs. I
It's a lot of
these ones
points.
are always tough because I personally believe that divisional games are a lot closer than people think that they should be. So that one to me is that one's kind of a tough decision.
I just don't
Um,
think. I think they're gonna swarm Sam Howell. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's a good point. That's a real good it's a real good front four or front seven. And I'm sorry, did you watch you said you caught some of the oh you catch any of the Eagles Buccaneers
A
game?
little bit. I had YouTube TV as the dual TV
Yep.
screens, which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice, isn't it? Jalen Carter is
That's
a
stupid.
fucking monster. Like he doesn't even look like he's trying out there, and that was his third NFL game.
And
Um,
he dropped two in the draft because of people were saying, well, from his accident, and
yep.
then just saying too, like he's not motivated to play, but he sure the hell looks like he's motivated. I mean, probably helps that he's with the Georgia Bulldogs of the Eagles, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know. He's just a freak.
Yep. Yep. And
They gotta have the best front seven on off or front line offensive line and defensive line in the NFL.
oh, for sure, it's up. It's got to be close to having the best of both. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's remarkable. That guy is a sight to see, man. He's and then kind of. So I was taking advantage of that side by side too, and you couldn't help but start comparing him to 99 um in blue on in the other game a little bit. And I was like, I'm not trying to do that because, granted, I'm not on national television making that kind of comparison, and no one's ever gonna well, I guess now I'm saying it. But I mean, should we do that? But you could see a little bit of comparison there between Aaron Donald and Jalen Carter. 'Cause those both those guys are just game wreckers already, and with Jalen Carter doing it already, it's pretty remarkable.
I don't think anyone's gonna be compared to Aaron Donald, but
Well, they can
guys,
try, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have the Cowboys 6.5 point favorites at home against the Patriots. That's kind of a tough one too, because that Patriots defense is always good, and
Are the Cowboys gonna come back and be pissed off? And
I think so. I think they are. Yes. I mean, how could they not be? They just got the shit kicked out of them by a really really bad Arizona Cardinals team that is just paid a quarterback as their franchise quarterback and are rumored to be taking one of these top quarterbacks in this next draft. So, yeah, that's kind of a dumpster fire organization as well. And then the last one that I thought is going to be kind of a picky is a kind of a little weird number is the 9.5 points favorite Chiefs on the road in New York against the Jets. So without Zach Wilson, I think that could really get out of hand, but that Jets defense is good and Kansas City's
without
offense is
Zach
struggling.
Wilson playing,
No, with him. I mean, it's no. It's I could see it getting in hand with him playing, but the Jets defense, I think they could keep that game in a little closer than people think too.
I don't know. Their defense doesn't really look that good. I
The
mean,
Jets,
yeah,
well, it doesn't help when they're on the field probably
yeah,
90% of the
I
game.
agree there. That's why I laughed when I think you sent in the text message group. So how many fab dollars for Zach Wilson, and then the
Yeah.
next no one picked him up.
The Cougar Hunter. Yep.
Wow,
Cougs.
God, that was talk about an all-time miss for me there. I think I had a chance to draft Tua or Trevor, and I chose Zach Wilson in the draft. So that was always good. Nice to look back on.
Well, what do you do, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Is what it is.
yeah. That's fantasy
Well,
football.
I know it sucks. It's only fun when you're winning. Even when if you're like it's only fun when you're winning a lot, like the majority of the time. If you're like 500, it's just like yeah, I don't know, because it's still so stressful. You have to be like undefeated through the whole thing to actually be having fun. The rest of it's
Oh,
just like it
especially in
pisses me off.
dynasty, especially in
Yeah.
dynasty where it's like, yeah, like my team has nothing, and
Yep.
yeah,
I know, and I was actually thinking like shit, if I didn't pull this one out against Cody with when I was able to get about 35 no, I'm sorry, 45 points between Jamar Chase and my kicker. Um and I ended up winning that one, but I was thinking shit, if I go 0 and 3, I feel like I have a bunch of studs on my team, but if I go 0 and 3, like I don't know what to do because I don't have like a lot of older players to sell off for draft capital. I have a lot of young guys that are just underperforming right now. Be it if Aaron because of Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles and Joe Burrow with his calf, like and JK and all this stuff. But I'm like, who the hell am I going to sell for draft capital? It kind of like, but I can't trade away CD Lamb. I can't trade away Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson. No, I'm not trading away Bijan Robinson. It's just like, I'm just kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place there if I don't do well this year. So, but what do you do? That's like you said, it's fucking fantasy, man.
All luck, all luck.
Yep.
I laughed when I thought about putting Matt Gay as my player of the week. I don't know if you saw his stat line.
Yeah.
4 field goals over 50 yards, and then an extra point and like a 30-yard something field goal. And he outkicked Justin Tucker there. Justin Tucker's
Yeah.
couldn't
You
missed a
know,
one or something.
your boy Justin Tucker lost me like $35. If had he made that field goal and he wasn't a yard short, I had a parlay going on. I had a battle of the kickers. I had Matt Gay being over 5.5 fantasy points. Justin Tucker being over 7.5, and then Zay Flowers being over 4.5 receptions. And because of Justin Tucker's missed field goal, lost out on some money, and I was not too happy because normally he hits a 61-yard field
Yeah,
goal. Like,
it's just ease. I don't know.
I don't know if it was some bad turf that day or what, but I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then to see him they go to overtime, and then you're like thinking, oh yeah, we got this. They got it. He's gonna go down and kick a field goal, and then they get down to the 40 and they just punt. It's like, fuck, Harbaugh, you son of a gun. It's almost like he knows. He's almost like he knows what Sean McVay knows. Just trying to be out there and ruin people's days. All the people that got some money
Oh,
on the game.
God.
Yep, that
Just
is
an
funny.
insane move. Insane move. I mean,
Yeah, yep.
I feel
So
like
what
I feel like you have to know what the spread is to kick that field goal. Like, why else would you kick it? Like,
I think the only way you can know is if you look. So, and do you really think that those coaches look? I don't know. I mean, how else are you gonna
I'd
know?
say a majority don't, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you being an NFL coach, you have I don't know, maybe some of them lay in bed at night and they're saying, oh, I wonder what the spread is this week. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But, but
who
either
knows?
way, he lost a lot of people a lot of money the last two games. Sean McVay did with some interesting end of game decisions. But whatever, it
He,
is what it
he,
is.
he make a lot more money than us, so
Yeah, he does. So, well, Jake, hey, thank you for being on tonight. I'm glad you had a wonderful time in Kentucky.
I'll have to
And
see.
I can't wait to go back. Honestly, we spent 3 nights out there, and it was remarkable. Seeing all that stuff on kind of the history of everything. So I can't wait to get back. I'm glad you came back with a good haul, and we'll have to share some of that bourbon soon.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Thank you for having me on. It's always a blast
Yep.
catching up.
All right. Well, thank you. Goodbye, everybody.